Hello and welcome to Living Tree Engage. My name is Mike Cash and I am the Director of Customer Success and Support and Training here at Living Tree. And I wanted to walk us through the platform today. And one of the first things that I like to do is I like to kind of explain who we are so we get a good sense of what we're looking at from the role that we're looking at it from. Today we are logged in as Jeremy Heath. And Jeremy is a fifth grade teacher at St. Edward's Elementary School. And one of the things you'll first notice when you log into Living Tree is that it looks a lot like Facebook. So if you scroll down the center here, we can see all of the posts that have been created in Jeremy's class and then school-wide posts and maybe any other posts that have been made to groups that he may be connected to. The second thing I'd like to point out is the left-hand navigation bar. The left-hand navigation bar allows us to quickly filter the post stream here to specific groups and specific things that we're looking for. So in this case, if I wanted just things that have been posted to Jeremy Heath's classroom, I'd be able to click on Mr. Heath's fifth grade class, and then I would only return posts from that classroom. If, let's say, Jeremy had, he was the administrator for the school's band club, then he could click on that and only return things from the band club that had been posted to that group. I'm going to clear our filter here. You can always clear the filter that you're on by clicking on Clear Filter Show All. That'll reset this conversation screen. The next thing that I'd like to point out is our top navigation bar, which takes us through the different modules of Living Tree. So we have the conversations feed, the calendar, give, inbox, my network, and directory. And I can move between those different modules just by clicking on them. For instance, going into the inbox, I can take us into the inbox. I'm going to default us back to the conversation screen. And then I want to really dive into the options settings because there's a very important key feature in here that I'd like to point out along with some other things that are very important as well. So we're going to go ahead and open up the My Profile section. I'll do that by going up here to Options, hitting My Profile, and then selecting Edit Profile and Preferences. You notice that a lot of this is just kind of standard stuff. We have first name, last name, email, street address, all of that. What I wanted to draw our attention to is the language setting within Living Tree. So we'll see here it says language. If I open this up, you will see that Living Tree translates into over 100 languages. So we can see a full list of those if we click the button here. Now, what does this mean? Well, Living Tree has a very robust translation feature. And that means that if, let's say, I was a parent at St. Edward's Elementary School and I had my language setting set to Spanish, then when I receive notification of a post and log in and actually look at that post, it will automatically be translated into Spanish for me. That will also translate the messages that actually go out, so the notifications and the mobile push alerts to the app will also get translated into the user's language of choice. The other great thing about the language feature is that it will also translate inbox one-to-one messages. So if Jeremy writes an email to a parent and that parent has their language set to Spanish, then that parent will receive Jeremy's English written language message in Spanish. And then if that parent writes back to Jeremy in Spanish, then Jeremy will receive that translated back into English for him. So it's a very, very unique tool. It's one of the key features of Living Tree, and I wanted to show where we would set that. The other thing is down below here, we have a number of communications and notification preferences. We can set things like whether or not we want a daily summary of a roll-up of the posts that have been made throughout the day. We can turn on text message posting and phone messaging. We can also choose whether or not we want email notifications or mobile push alerts and the specific type of alerts that we would like by clicking these radio buttons here. Once I press save, this will save this information. And then this will then take us back to the conversations feed. So once that's done, or rather, now that we're done talking about the profiles sections, I'd like to kind of dive deep into the conversation stream. So to actually create a post, what we would do is we would go up to the upper bar here where it says share a message, photo, video, or file, and click on that. And then we'll get into our post creation screen. So here we can put our title, or subject rather, and then we can do our message. We can add a photo to this post. We can add a video to this post. We can add a file. We can also do a post type that is a text message. So then we'd be able to go in here and say, okay, a quick message, and that will go into the conversation stream. It will also go out as an email notification and mobile push alert, but it will also be sent to users in your group as a text, an SMS text message to their phone if they've opted into receiving text messages. I'm gonna remove that real quick. We can also add polling to our posts. So we can add subject, we'll type our question here, we can put answers, we can actually add as many answers as we want, and then we can poll our users to the questions that we have, and they could do that right in the post. The next thing is to share with groups. So in this case, Jeremy would be making a post that he would want to share with his 5th grade class. So in this case, we'll open this up, Mr. Heath's 5th grade class, and it says parents. So we'll select parents, and now this post will go out to Mr. Heath's 5th grade class parents. You'll see that we also have the option of disabling comments. This will remove the commenting feature on posts because sometimes there are posts that you don't want to invite any commentary on. So this will remove the ability for parents to be able to comment on those posts. There's also scheduling of posts. So this comes in very handy if you're, let's say, working on your newsletter on Wednesday, but you don't want to necessarily have it go out until Friday. You can check the box here, click on the icon here for the calendar, and then select Friday. And then let's say we want this to go out when the school ends at 3 p.m. on Friday. So now when I post this, this will actually go as a scheduled post. It won't release to anybody, no notifications will go out, nothing will be affected. You'll be able to see it in your conversation stream, but you will not be able to release it, or it won't release rather, until Friday at 3 p.m. So that's how we create a post. And the next thing I want to talk about is the posts themselves. So here you can see, if I scroll down, here are all of our great posts here that Mr. Heath has done. And I'm going to take us down to this one. So this one has Jeremy doing a debate in his classroom. So he's invited to his, he's inviting parents to their debate next Friday at 9:30. And he's also including parents into some workup before the event as well, before the debate that's going to be happening. So he's asking them to ask their children the following questions. How much text evidence did you collect today for your debate? How's your team progressing? And just general questions to kind of help parents help their students get in preparation for the debate that will be conducted on Friday. You can also see that Jeremy has added a video, and you can see how well that video looks in here. We can actually, there's sound here. We can open up the sound, can turn that off. So this is very interactive. We can also, as parents, or as anyone rather, we can comment on this post. We can like it. We can pin it. We can reshare it to another group if we'd like. And then we can also mute the notifications for this particular post. So if there was a lot of activity going on this post and I didn't want to have a lot of notifications going to me, I could actually click on mute and it would mute the notifications from going out. Here we can see some parents have gone through and actually commented. We can see that other parents have liked their comments. And then you'll also notice here in the upper right-hand corner of each one of these comments, there's a little X. You could go through here as an admin of your classroom and actually click on this and delete comments from the comment stream if need be. So down here is where we could write those comments. You'll see that space. We would be writing as Jeremy because we were logged on as Jeremy. If he were to do that, then you can see here's a comment that he had done earlier, and it's in the conversation stream. So taking us back to the top, I want to point out a couple key things up in the upper right-hand corner of a post. First and foremost is that X here, we could delete this post from the conversation stream and then thus from all of our users. So this will take it out of the parents comment stream as well, or conversation stream as well. We can click on the little pencil icon and it will allow us to re-edit this. So if Jeremy wanted to edit this post because he saw a typo or something, he'd be able to click on this and then change the post if he needed to. And then there's the FES score, which is a very unique thing to Living Tree. This is what's called the Family Efficacy Score. And it is a measurement from 0 to 100 of how successful your post was at engaging your parents. So what the system does basically is look at the amount of comments, the amount of likes, the amount of reshares, and the notification opens for the email notifications that go out, and weighs them at different weights to produce this score. So if, let's say, a comment has a higher weight than just liking a post, liking has a lower weight. But if a parent likes and comments, then we consider that to be better engagement. And then, of course, if they've opened up that email notification and have moved to the platform, that also has some weighting as well. All of this is designed to help you design posts that truly engage your families. This is also going to be evolving as we move forward to include a lot of key features within Living Tree. So keep an eye on this as this progresses, because this will really, really help you create posts within your classroom that truly evoke the spirit of family efficacy. So there you go. Taking us back to the top here, I want to quickly show that we can filter our conversation stream in a different way. We can show specific post types. So I can go to pinned posts that I've pinned to quickly get back to. We saw that earlier with the little pinned post icon. I can get to posts that have files. I can show posts that have photos and videos. This might take a second. I can show calendar event posts. And then I can also search for specific users. So I can actually search for posts done by Ben Marshall or Michael Cash or whomever if they have posts done in the conversation screen. The other thing that I can do is I can go into my search conversations feature, and once this comes back up, we will search for that debate. We know that the post contains the word debate in it. So we'll go ahead and search that. And here's our post that we were referencing earlier that has debate. You'll notice that it will search the title or the subject line. It will also search the body of the post, and it will also search the commenting or the comments on the post as well. This is very important in case you had something that, if you remembered that a parent had written a specific thing and you only knew a couple of words or phrasing, you could be able to get back and actually go and see what they've said, because you will be able to search into the comments. So that's the conversation screen in a nutshell. The next thing that I'd like to take us to is the calendar feature within the application. So what we'll be doing is we'll be going into the calendar by clicking on calendar here. And the first thing that we're going to notice is that it defaults to the week view. We also have a day view and a month view. We can click on create an event on any specific day, and we'll get the fast event creation screen. On the day, we can kind of choose a specific time to create an event. And then we can also, on the month, choose the day and create an event from there. You can also click on the long form plus event sign under any one of these, and that will take you to the long form event creation or calendar event creation screen. So now let's go through this real quick. So we have the first thing is, of course, the what. So in this case, what I'd like to do is I'd like to say, this is a class party. The who. So again, we're going to share this with Mr. Heath's 5th grade class. We can disable comments because remember, calendar events go out and get placed on the calendar, but they also get placed in the conversations feed and can be commented on. So we can disable those comments here by clicking on that. And then we can also disable the ability to notify recipients from this. This is very helpful if you're doing multiple events at once. Let's say you're putting football dates onto the calendar for the school year and you're doing them all at once and you don't want parents to receive a lot of notifications because you're doing a lot of work on the calendar. You can simply uncheck notify recipients and emails and push notification, mobile push notifications will not go out. You also have the when, so we can do Thursday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. or we can select maybe tomorrow and we want this event to go from 9 to 10, or we can make it an all-day event on Friday. We can also set repetition, so we have the option of doing repetition daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, after specific occurrences, and we can have it end on 8:13, or let's say we were doing a staff meeting and we wanted the staff meeting to get on the calendar every Friday and we wanted it to only be scheduled out to the end of the school year so it doesn't get on the schedule to the end of the school year. We can click May 31st and now this event will show up every Friday on my calendar till the end of the school year, till May 31st, and will not go past that point. The other thing is the where, so we're going to do Mr. Heath's classroom. We can require RSVP, so people can, or users can RSVP to your event. You can click on that. We can also require sign up for tasks. So this is very helpful because you can get really creative with the sign up for tasks. So I could say that I need a door greeter for my class party. I need, let's say, 2 of those. I also need someone to bring juice. I need someone to bring paper and utensils, and so on and so forth. Let's say we want 2 people to bring that, or 3 people to bring that, paper and utensils. We could do that. The other way that this can be done is you can do time slots for, let's say, a parent-teacher meetings. So we can say the first time slot is 1 o'clock to 1:30. And then we have, 1:30 to 2. And so on and so forth. You can do that all the way down the line. And what's great about this is it allows users to sign up for these tasks or sign up for these time slots, and then you would be able to print out a list of who signed up for what on the day of the event or even before the day of the event. So very, very handy tool to keep track of. We'll actually get into sign up for tasks here in a moment. I'm going to take you into a sign up event and we'll get to look at that. We can also set reminders in advance of days or hours or on the same day. And let's say I want reminders to go out 30 minutes before this event. I can actually set up the same day for reminders to go out 30 minutes before the event. I can also add photos, add files. So this is really great if you have, let's say, permission slips that you need to go out relative to this event. You can add those in there for parents to download and fill out and return. And then you can also, of course, do the description of the event here. At the bottom, you'll notice that we can save and add another. And what that will do is it will save this one, but refresh this screen so you can add another calendar event. So you can just stay here and do multiple events if you need to. or you can save and exit, and this will close out and take us back to the calendar feature. Before I take us to looking at what a calendar post looks like in depth, I want to point out one key thing back on our calendar screen, which is the subscription. This allows users to log in, grab a link, and then actually add that link into iCal or Google Calendar or on their Outlook calendars and get an extraction of their school calendar and have it put into their own personal calendar. So this is very helpful for parents who might be very busy and have a work calendar and a family calendar, and they're trying to organize things around school events. They can actually subscribe and have all of that in one, be extracted out of LivingTree and have that in their own personal calendar. The one key thing that I would like to bring up about that, though, is that although you can extract the LivingTree calendar into your personal calendar, you cannot take an existing external calendar and upload it to LivingTree. So just as a key distinction there, you're only able to subscribe to, you cannot push calendar events into LivingTree. So I'm going to take us back to the conversation screen again. And then we're going to find an event. I'm going to do that again. I can quickly get to event types by clicking on event. And then we'll look at some of these, find a really good example of one. Here's one. So it looks like Jeremy had a science fair that was scheduled on September 28th. We're actually going to look at this. We're going to hit on this and open up the event screen here. And now we can see that there has been no one's RSVP'd to this event yet, but if they did, we'd be able to see a list of those people that have RSVP'd. Also note that if somebody RSVPs to your event, you will get an email notification and a mobile push alert to let you know that. Same thing goes for sign up. If someone signs up for anything on your sign up list, you'll be able to get an email notification and mobile push alert notifying you that they have. In this case, we're going to look, we can see that both of these things have been filled. We can take a look and, oh, look, it looks like I signed up for bringing masks. And then another parent, Lydia Boudreau, signed up for bringing cylinders. There is another thing here, which is manage signups. I wanted to kind of point this out. We're going to remove Lisa Boudreau from this. And then you'll notice now that in a moment this will go change colors. And now we'll say that this is 0 filled cylinders. Let's say you're in your classroom and a teacher, Lydia Boudreau, comes up to you and says, I would like to bring cylinders, but I haven't been able to go onto LivingTree and sign up for that. Not a problem. Jeremy would be able to come in here, or you would be able to come in here, go to the calendar event screen, and then manage signups. If you click on that, you can see a list of the teachers, or the parents that are in your classroom, and then you'd be able to assign a parent to that. So Lydia Boudreau, we're going to assign her back to the cylinders. We're going to confirm that, and now we'll remove that from the sign up details list. Also, you'll notice that because commenting was turned on, Michael Cash has commented here at the bottom. And I can also remove or delete that comment if I so choose. The other thing I want to point out is up here in the upper right-hand corner, we can delete this post or this calendar event. We can edit this calendar event. So we could go back in here and maybe put some information about the science fair if we needed to. We can link to this. So let's say it's a couple days before the science fair, there were things that parents have not signed up for. Jeremy could take a link for this, copy the URL, do a new post telling parents, hey, don't forget that the science fair is in 2 days. We also have things that have not been signed up for. Please go to the link below and sign up for the remaining things that we need for the science fair. That would allow parents to click on that link, and that link will take them directly to this calendar event so they can sign up or maybe even RSVP. There's also the print this event. Earlier I had mentioned that you could get a list of the people who've signed up for things in your event, you would do so by clicking on the print this event, and then it will open up a new dialog box and allow you to be able to see a list of those people and also the people who have RSVP'd. So that about covers calendar feature. I'm going to briefly touch on what Give is. If you click on it, most likely as a teacher, you will not have anything here. This is a GoFundMe type, very, very light GoFundMe type of campaign module within Living Tree, so you can do event fundraisers at your school. The ability to create a fundraiser at your school is at the admin level, so your principal or someone in administration of the school would need to be able to create that. So if you have any questions about fundraising at your school, I would speak to your school administrator or principal. But this is a feature within Living Tree that is there. You can see this is an old campaign that was created that is past due. This campaign closed on February, so no donations can be made. So this is what Give is. It's there. If you have any questions, please talk to your administrators at your school. The other thing is the inbox feature, which I'll take us to now. Inbox is different than your conversations feed. Your conversations feed is much like Facebook. It's for posting. It's for posting out to the wider group and having a conversation within your classroom, posting photos and whatnot. But if you need to do one-to-one messaging with a parent or a group of parents or maybe other people at your school, you can do so within Living Tree under your inbox section. So in this case, we could compose a message and we can search for someone that we would like to speak to or would like to send a message to. In this case, we can say Michael Cash. We can put our subject. We can add an attachment to this post if we need, so I can send something home to the parent. And then I can also do my message, of course. Down at the bottom, there is a save as draft. So if I started to write this and I needed to add more stuff to it, or I wasn't sure if I wanted to send it right now, I could save as a draft, or I can also send this out directly. In the inbox, before we go on to drafts, you can also see that you can delete inbox messages. You can mark them as read. You can select this and mark as read. This will turn it a different color. I can mark as unread. And then I can also toggle these to all, toggle all of these so I can do a bulk change to things. Under the drafts, of course, we can get under here. We'll see draft messages that we have. We click on that message and then we can edit and we can resend this. Now, one thing I'd like to note again about translation, let's say Summer Howard had her language set to Spanish and Katie Balderston had hers set to German. And this message goes out in English from Jeremy. Summer will receive it in Spanish. Katie will receive hers in German. If Katie writes back in German, Jeremy will receive it translated back to him in English. So all of that capability is within our inbox here. I'm going to skip over invitations real quick, but I'll talk a little bit about sent messages. If we click on sent messages, then we can see all of the messages that have gone out. I can compose a new message from here as well, or I can delete things from my sent message box as well. If you are invited into a group at the school, let's say Jeremy was invited into the chess club for the school, he would be able to see, he would get a notification of that invitation, and when he logged in for the first time after receiving that, he'll be prompted to accept that invitation. If he does not accept that invitation at that moment, the invitation will live in his inbox under invitations, so he can see all of the invitations to all the groups. He would simply accept them from here, and then he would be connected to those groups there. The next thing I'd like to take us into is the My Network section. As teachers, we can see the network structure of our class here. So here we've clicked on My Network and we're filtered to Mr. Heath's classroom. And we have a couple things going on here. We can see that Mr. Heath's class is tied to St. Edward's Elementary here at the top. If Mr. Heath wants to edit his class name, he can click on the icon in the upper right-hand corner there and change that. He can also go and invite co-administrators to his class. So here's Jeremy. We can tell that he owns his classroom because he does not have one of these upside down arrows. He is accompanied here by Ben Marshall, who's the principal. The principal of the school, or the main administrator of the school, gets placed into all classrooms automatically. And then you can see here that he's invited in Carrie Boydston, and her invitation is pending right now. So this may be a co-teacher or maybe a substitute teacher that assists in his classroom that he's invited in to be able to post and to essentially do the same things that he can with his group, with his classroom. He would do another invite here if he needed another administrator. He would click on invite and then be able to search the school directory by searching contacts, or he can put someone's email directly here and send an invite. You'll also be able to change the message that goes out from him relative to this invite. Send invite, and that'll go out. The next thing we'll notice is the parents layer here. If we open this up, we'll see parents. All of this shows all of our parents that are attached and the students that are attached to those parents. So you can see a full list of everybody that's connected to the classroom here. He does have the ability to delete individual parents from his classroom. Also, you can create a group code to help join parents from your classroom to your classroom by group code. You can add other parents that are already in the school to your classroom by selecting this and searching the school directory if that's available. And then you can also invite parents in via email, and it will prompt them to go to Living Tree and create an account and then add their student into your classroom. Now, one of the things I like to talk about right here is that if your school is being updated from the school's SIS system, all of this is automatic and you will not need to create group codes or invite parents. Again, if your school is being updated with the SIS system and not being managed locally within the administrator of the school, you will not need to do any of this here. Your parents should automatically be connected. If for whatever reason you see a parent not connected to your class, that means that, and your school is sending the data to us, that means that something has not come over via the SIS system, and we need to make sure that that is correct on the school side. So those changes need to be made on the school side so we can update Living Tree and make sure that they're synced correctly. So I would caution anyone from deleting any parents or adding any parents unless you know for certain that you have the ability to add those and that your school is self-managing their Living Tree account. For schools that have student accounts, so maybe middle schools and high schools, you would also be able to see a list of your students connected here at the bottom. And that is the My Network section. I'm going to go now to our directory, which is the last part of this. This school happens to have their directory turned on, so we could take a look at this. Your school may have this turned off, in which case Jeremy would only be able to see things directly related to his classroom and nothing else, and parents would not be able to see anything relative to any other classroom across the school. They would not be able to search the directory if this is hidden. If it's not hidden, then the functionality works like this. We would be able to click on St. Edward's Elementary School at the bottom. We would see all of the grade layers. So here are all the kinder classes, first grade, third grade. We can see Mr. Heath's fifth grade classes here. We can see all the teachers that are in the fifth grade layer. We can open up Mr. Heath's classroom and see the admins and the parents. The great thing about the directory is that I can start a multi-person message really quickly from this directory. I could click on and say, okay, I want to send a message to Lindsay, to Carrie, to Miranda, and maybe Angie, and then compose a message. Once I've clicked compose a message, it will take me back into my inbox, add all of those parents to this, and then I can quickly do a message to all of those parents here in the directory. Again, the directory may or may not be turned on for your school, so you may or may not be able to see or have limited availability to see things in the directory at this point, but I did want to show you exactly where that was and how you would look at it. So I'm going to take us back to the conversation screen one last time and kind of take us down now through the left-hand navigation here as well. So at any time, if you need to get to, let's say, some videos relative to what you've seen today, we have our Academy page here at the top. I could click on this. It will take me to another website within LivingTree that has videos that are broken up by all of the things that we talked about, like translation and the conversations feed. So basically the same thing that you've been going through today, but broken up into pieces so you can quickly access those. That is always available to all users in the upper right-hand corner by clicking on Get Started. Parents can go in this upper right-hand corner and use a group code to join your class. So this is where they would click to add that group code to get dumped into your classroom. If you are a manually administered school and not a school that is being provisioned by your SIS system. And then you would also be able to see things that are on your calendar, a quick calendar view on the right-hand side. If there was some stuff for today on August 8th and 9th, I would be able to see things upcoming on my calendar and be able to click on those and go directly to them. Down here at the bottom, this is so you can easily download our app for iPhone and for Android. And then these buttons take you to the LivingTree Facebook, Twitter, and Indeed pages or LinkedIn pages for LivingTree. The last thing that I really wanted to kind of bring to our attention is ongoing support. At any time, you can get to our support tools and to our staff in support very easily by going to the left hand here, and you'll see this little green button with the smiley face. If I click on that, it will open up and it will allow me to start a conversation here by clicking on New Conversation and then sending a message to the staff that are currently on. This is typically, we're available during work hours, Central Standard Time until 5. And we also monitor this off hours as well and try to get back to people as quickly as possible if it's off hours. The other thing you'll notice is that anytime that we have any new update to the system, you can see what the latest updates are. In this case, our Getting Started button here in the upper right-hand corner is something that's very new, so we put in a little notification of that. And then if you need to go in and actually search for articles, let's say I wanted to see articles on adding parents or guides there, we can put that in, and then it will start to return to us results for articles that we can click on that will take us to be able to kind of look at those and solve questions if we need to. So this is, again, available in the lower left-hand corner of your online version of LivingTree. It's always there. You can also send to us an email at support@livingtree.com. And that will also get to our team in the same way that this comes as a conversation. So sending an email to support@livingtree.com comes directly to us as well. And that kind of concludes everything that I have to show here for LivingTree and the LivingTree Engage app. I want to thank everybody on behalf of LivingTree for all the hard work that you do on behalf of our children and our communities. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to contact us here in the lower left-hand corner, or feel free to go to our Quick Start Guide page here in the upper right. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.